What is up, guys? Stephen Harvey here from Plan to Profit. Now, obviously, the times right now, money is becoming a really important thing, especially about saving it and making it last the full mile, okay? And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you 8 different ways that you can actually save more money over the course of the year. Now, these aren't stupid little ways like only live on noodles and budget bread. These are actually proper legitimate ways of which some of you don't even know consciously that you're actually spending this money and how much it can really add up. Now, before we jump into it though, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel already, there's about 70% of you that aren't actually subscribed, but you're watching these videos. So hit the subscribe button down below. That's greatly appreciated. And if you took away any of these tips over the next 8, then hit the like button and tell me which one in the comments was the one that you are guilty of, okay? But let's start off with number 1, and that is paying down your debt, okay? Now, this is at number 1. I find this one of the most important things because sometimes our debt can really get away from us, okay? And so what we're talking about here is we're talking about bank loans, car finance, credit cards, and also later on in this video at number 4, I'm going to mention one more thing that can also go hand in hand with this number 1. Now, obviously, if you are going to get a bank loan or if you are going to get any car finance, it's really important to make sure that you can try and minimize or eliminate any early payment fees, okay? So when I got myself a loan, I was able to pay that back about $1,000, chucking $2,000 straight onto that loan, and I was able to pay off a lump sum of $20,000, of which I had loaned out for 2 years. I was able to pay that off within a year. Now, I can understand some loans can be at a really large amount, especially if you got a mortgage on a house. And a rule that I like to follow is if that debt, so you got to weigh it up. Is it good debt or is it bad debt? If it's good debt, things like a mortgage on a house, and that's bringing you cash flow through that house, then that's good debt. But bad debt is things like the car finance and things like that. So you really want to make sure you try and pay that down. And the rule that I like to follow is if that interest rate is anywhere above 6 or 7%, then you really want to try and pay that down as fast as you can, okay? Obviously, I do talk about a lot of investing things on this channel, and usually on average, our portfolios can bring in about at least 6 to 7% in growth over the course of a year. So if you can bring that type of return in on your portfolio, then you can almost outweigh the interest of which you're owing on your loan. At number 2 now, we have never pay full retail. What I mean by this is when you walk into a shop, you obviously go and you have a look around, and if you don't have the intention of buying it, then at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you find the best price you can. Avoid window shopping, especially because when you see that in the window and you just go in and buy it straight away, then really you might see it somewhere else or somewhere online where it could be cheaper. So that's what I mean. Don't buy from the first store. Really browse around, because at the end of the day, that store is still going to have it. If you really want it, then you can always go back and get it if you can't find it anywhere else. Like I did say as well, find the item online, okay? I use a website called PriceSpy, which I'll show you right now. Now, PriceSpy is available for New Zealanders. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other countries we can see down here. It's available all over the world. So jump onto PriceSpy, and then on here, you can just use the search bar and you can type in what you want. So let's say, for example, I want to get myself some AirPods, the 2nd generation. It shows me here 2 things, charging case or wireless charging case. So you can click on the one that you are interested in, and then it tells me here, and especially this, because I'm from New Zealand, this tells me all the different places here in New Zealand that are selling these AirPods, and it also lists the best price in that price order. So we can see here, Expert Infotech have got AirPods for $248. It also has the stock. If it's not green, don't worry. Sometimes it just does that. You'll be able to see the stock on the website, but then you have the ones that also tell you. So that's not so important. It's about getting on here and finding it yourself. And so you can see all these different prices. So definitely my favorite tool to use when finding it online. So I do recommend, if you find something that you really like in a store, grab your phone out. We've got these smartphones. They're accessible to the internet. Type in what you want, and then you can look at all the different prices and probably find a better deal somewhere else. And then the last thing is the 7-day rule, okay? So if you really want something, at the end of the day, give it 7 days before you actually buy it. What this does is it stops us from impulse buying. We can actually get to those 7 days and be like, actually, yeah, I don't really like it, and you could decide not to buy it. If you find that you still really want to buy it after those 7 days, then go ahead, you can go and buy it and try and find the best price. Moving on to number 3 now, and I have to admit I was very guilty at this. I've even got the latest edition of the iPhone 11, and you can see here, you don't need an upgrade. You really don't need that upgrade. If you have the iPhone XS and you want to go up to the iPhone 11 Pro, ask yourself, do you really need that upgrade? Because at the end of the day, out of those 2 models that I've just given you as an example, there really isn't a hell of a lot of difference. Now, for people that might use the camera a lot, like the wide angle, if you've got vloggers out there who might use iPhones just to vlog instead of their cameras, then sure, you can find it as a business investment. Or sure, if the company's paying for it. But really, if it's just a personal phone, then ask yourself, do you really need the upgrade? Because at the end of the day, the average sale price of these smartphones have increased over the years as the technology has advanced. The average sale price, and that's what all these smartphone companies are trying to do, is they're trying to increase the technology, make these pretty much as good as computers, and then just bump the prices up. And the next one at number 4 is negotiate a better rate. And this goes hand in hand with number 1, like I said, paying down your debt. This is to research the competition in terms of financial providers. So there are a lot out there. There are a lot of places that can do debt consolidation. So it means they can shift your debt from a bank or other financial place, and they can actually hold that debt, and they might be able to offer you a better interest rate. So really shop around and see who can really give you the best interest rate. And then secondly, once you've got that competition, go talk to your bank, because at the end of the day, they want your business. And so if you can say, hey, look, such and such down the road, they're offering me this rate, and they said I can shift all my debt from you guys to them, I'm thinking of going ahead, they're really going to try and keep your business, and they'll try and readjust your interest rate and your loan so that it can give you a better deal than what the competition are providing. So it's really easy. You can head into your local bank, book a meeting, talk to someone about it, and try and see what you can get. At number 5 now, we have shop from a list. This is a really important thing because it can stop unnecessary buying. So really what you like to do is make a list of your needs and your wants. So the things you need, obviously things like groceries, like your food, everything like that, that needs to be put on your needs. And then your wants, kind of like materialistic things that you might like some AirPods or a new phone or something like that. So put that on your wants. And then what happens is, like I said, back to that 7-day rule for those wants. Wait for those 7 days, readjust your list, and see if you still want them. As for your needs list, for example, like supermarket shopping, you want to make sure you take a grocery list with you into the supermarket, because then that way you will actually know what you want and what you need, rather than just going around clueless, doubling the amount of time you spend in there and just picking up things that you think you need and then finding out that you don't, and you'll end up having to chuck them away. Number 6 now, we have leave your wallet behind. What I mean by this is just leaving things like your credit card, your debit card even, and you can also try and, if you want, try not to use Apple Pay or anything like that on your phones, because that convenience can really increase your chance of spending money when you really don't need to. The way you can counter this is just take some cash with you. Take the cash of what you think you need. So if you're going to go bowling with some friends or go out for dinner or drinks, take what you think you need, and then at the end of the day, whatever cash is left over, then you can just add that to your next spending budget. Now, I do say leave your wallet behind. That doesn't mean you have to leave your entire wallet with all your different cards in it. Just make sure you take along the things that you need, just like your driver's license or your photo ID. Coming at number 7 now, and this can affect a lot of people, because at the end of the day, we subscribe to a lot of things, and if we don't keep track of them, then it means they can really get lost amongst all the other things that we pay for. So really try and track your subscriptions. That way you'll be able to know what you're spending your money on, where it's all going. And if you even track those prices and put it over a 1-year period, you can actually see how much you're paying for subscriptions for that entire year, and you can really see how it can add up. Now, typical subscriptions that people sometimes are paying for, but really they're not even using, are things like Netflix, your Disney Plus. And obviously in this current situation that's going on around the world, with a lot of sports not participating in sports or in their games, like things like football or rugby, is the sports subscriptions, okay? So if you are signed up to any of these sports subscriptions, especially like we have here in New Zealand, we have SparkSport. So SparkSport was used for the Rugby World Cup. Some people might have signed up just for the Rugby World Cup and then they wouldn't have been using it anymore. So try and cancel those ones if you're not using it. But I use SparkSport for the Premier League football. And obviously the Premier League right now at this point of time as I'm filming the video is not going ahead. No ball is being kicked. So a really awesome thing that SparkSport did though is they actually put all of their members' subscriptions on hold until all the sport starts to resume and they get live sport back online again. A good way to see if you're using this subscription or not is by applying the 2-week rule. So what I say by that is over that 2 weeks, at the end of the 2 weeks, if you find any of those subscription or the platforms you don't use anymore, then don't use them anymore. Just unsubscribe for them, stop paying for them. Because obviously you are not using it. You can even bump that up to 1 month if you think 2 weeks is not a lot. Maybe bump it up to 1 month. Coming in at number 8 now, and I can see this could probably get a lot of people. Probably 99% of you guys watching this video might be guilty of this. Now I'm really lucky. I don't like coffee, so it means I don't drink it. However, for some people, they really need their daily coffee. Now, if you are one of those guilty people that like to buy their coffee every single workday, then look at this equation here. If you have a $4 coffee on average spend, you times that by every single working day. So that's not 7 days. We're talking 5 days a week throughout the year. Then over that 1 year period, you're going to spend over $1,000 just on your daily coffee. Ways that you can actually limit this or limit your spending is throttle back. You can maybe buy a coffee every now and then if you like to. However, some offices even provide coffee within the workplace, whether it's made for you there or you have to make it yourself. So if you have a coffee machine at home, make yourself a coffee and then go out, invest in a coffee machine. That can really save you a lot of money. You might have to put in a lot